Welcome back, troops, to Let's Tab 59. So I've done a couple of videos recently about air rifles, air guns, air pistols, etc. I covered a little Springer pistol I got, an HW45. I also covered a nitro gas ram rifle I've got, a Benjamin Trail in 2.2. And I did talk about the different power methods that air rifles have, i.e. Springers, PCPs, etc. I don't have a PCP to show you, but you can look them up. So I want to talk about this rifle. It's a Springer. It's the only Springer rifle I've got left. I used to have quite a few Springer rifles over the years, but once I got my firearms certificate, my shotgun certificate, I started to sort of lose interest in air rifles. But I've started to get that interest back again, and that's why I'm covering them today. And I want to cover this particular rifle, this Springer rifle. It's an RWS Diana. Now, you might have heard of Diana rifles in the past. They're a German company, RWS. They were founded around 1890, and they've produced some really, really good quality weapons over the years. Still going today under a different name, but they're still called Diana. But I think they were bought out by somebody. So two guys started the company back in 1890. One was a tool maker. No, it's not him, not the one at number 10. It's another tool maker. And also the other guy was a financier. And they got together, they started to make household stuff, ironware, etc. But then a couple of years after they formed their company, they made their first air weapon, which was a pistol. And then it grew from that. And they're very well renowned. Now, I like all German weapons. I think the Germans make fantastic. I mean, anything the Germans make is always good quality, whether it's cars or whatever. Germans just seem to have that tendency for perfection and quality. And that doesn't go any different with this particular rifle. Now, I've had this one over 10 years. It is a bit of a lump, and you can see straight away as an air rifle, it might not look too much like an air rifle because the stock goes all the way up here to the muzzle. This is known as a Stutzen, which is a German word for cropped or cut. So the wood going all the way up to the end is great. It hides the mechanism of the air rifle, which is an underlever. I'll get to show you that in a minute. So it hides all that and can give it the appearance, especially on this side. On this side, you can see maybe that little silver opening here, which is where the breech is, where the pellet goes. But when you see the rifle from this side, you can't really tell it's an air rifle. It looks quite like a firearm, like a full-size firearm. But it's not, it's an air rifle. The disadvantage, of course, I suppose, is that it makes it a bit more weighty. It's about, without a scope, with the iron sights, it's about 3.7 kilos, which is quite weighty. And if you're out in the field hunting with this, you know you're carrying it. So it is a bit of a lump, but it's so well made. Let me just talk you through some of the features on it. So as I say, it comes with iron sights. You can see I've fitted a one-piece mount here and a nice scope on it. I'll talk about that later. Fixed iron sight at the front, which you can't move. It's actually plastic, which is a bit of a letdown. You can't adjust that. It does come with a rear open sight, which is fully adjustable. And they're quite accurate. And I might actually put them back on because I like shooting with open sights. I think sometimes shooting with open sights can sort of test you a little bit more than using an optic. But I did do a bit of hunting with it, and I wanted to be a little bit more accurate, and so I put a scope on it. It's underlever, as I say. You can just see here in this recess is the underlever running down there. There's a little catch at the top. You just simply push that out. That releases the underlever. And obviously you pull that right the way back. You can see then that the breech opens, and that's where you insert the pellet. It's the 2.2. And simply once it's cocked, you shut it again. Once it's cocked again, there's a little safety catch, which is just down here. Hopefully you can just see that there, this little red dot. And you can set the safety catch. I can't set it because I haven't cocked it. The reason I haven't cocked it is I'm not going to fire it. It's not good to leave a Springer cocked. If I was to fire it in the back, it's quite loud, and I don't want to upset the neighbours. It's not like the little pistol I had, or the other rifle, the gas ram rifle. This is really loud. The spring really does give off a clatter when you pull the trigger, so I don't want to upset the neighbours and fire it off. Plus, I'm on my own. It's difficult for me to shoot and edit at the same time. I'm not very good at that. So this underlever, it's got a bear trap here. Once that's cocked, it is fully cocked. The underlever is fully cocked. It is safe to put your thumb in there or your fingers in there to load the pellet. It's locked back, it won't shut. Because to shut the lever, you have to press a small catch here. So as long as that's not pressed, that's not going to flip up if you touch the trigger. It's not going to snap up and chop your fingers off. The wood stock itself is beech. Hopefully the camera's going to pick up this beautiful checkering with the oak leaves here on the forestock, and again around the pistol grip here you can see all this beautiful checkering. It's really good quality. These lovely little oak leaves. Got a great trigger on it, fully adjustable. It's a TOS 6 trigger, metal trigger. Really positive trigger. You can adjust it. I've left it factory set. It's got a nice cheek piece on the side here, and it's got a good rubber recoil pad. Now, this is, as I say, good German quality rifle. I would say I'm more of a fan of HW and Virap rifles, but these are close to HW weapons, let me tell you. Now, why did I put a scope on it? As I say, I took it hunting back in the day, knocking rabbits over, and I started, the wind's really playing up, excuse that. Try and keep the wind from doing that. Why have I got such a good scope? The scope that's on it, it's a Hungarian-made Schmidt & Bender. Now, Schmidt & Bender, a fantastic German company. They started to make some of their scopes on license out in Hungary. Still the same great quality. This is a Schmidt & Bender. It's a fixed 6-42 scope. More scope than you would need on an air rifle. But the reason I put it on there was because I started to buy firearms, and I bought one second-hand firearm, a really nice rifle that had this scope fitted when it came second-hand. But it was a fixed hunting scope, and I wanted to put a more adjustable, a better scope on it for zoom-wise. And so I was left with this as sort of spare scope. So I thought it'd be great fun to fit it to this, and it has been. It's a really good scope. Retail price for these currently is around £500 new. So they're not cheap. Then air rifles aren't cheap new. Good quality air rifles aren't cheap. Look at the Viraps. You can pick them up second hand. Of course, this Stutzen, it's called a Stutzen. It's actually the Model 430, Diana Model 430. But Stutzen isn't just for this rifle. Stutzen is on other. BSA had a Stutzen. Some of you might remember the little tap loader at the front. It was an underlever, and then you loaded a little tap, sort of twisted the tap, popped the pellet in, twisted it again. So that was good. Fixed barrels are I think are much better on air rifles because you don't get barrel droop. Now, air rifles, if they're not PCP, if they're springers, they're going to come with a side lever for cocking, or an underlever, or a brake barrel. Now, brake barrels over time can need attention because eventually over wear, that barrel doesn't quite, you can't see the actual droop really, but it doesn't quite marry up sometimes after wear and tear. It needs to be sorted. If it doesn't, you're going to get this barrel droop. It's going to affect accuracy and power. Of course, with a side lever air rifle or an underlever like this, because the barrel is fixed, you're not going to get that. So you're going to get more consistency over time. Yes, the parts still wear, the springs still wear, but fixed barrel can be better than a brake barrel. And if you're hunting and you're in a hide, I find that underlever works better because you're less restricted in the hide. You're just cocking like a brake barrel. Whereas with a side lever, sometimes it can be a bit cumbersome if you're in a tight spot hide hunting. Just something to bear in mind. So overall, a really good rifle. If anyone else has got one of these or had one of these in the past, and maybe the BSA Stutzen, let us know in the comments what you think of it. I don't think I'll ever part with this rifle. I think I'll keep this one. I've let a few go over the years, but this is one that's definitely a keeper for me. And I haven't fired it for a while. So I'm thinking I might get out there and do a bit of shooting with this in the next few weeks. It needs re-zeroing because it's probably way off. I say it hasn't been fired properly for maybe a year or so now. So it needs looking at. All round a great rifle, but not cheap. One last thing before I go. Why did they call them Diana? Well, Diana is a mythical goddess of the hunt, and that's why they chose the name. And on all their Diana rifles, you can't see it because the scope's in the way, but just on the top here underneath the fore end of the scope, the objective end of the scope, is etched a figure of a female holding up a rifle or holding near a rifle, and that's representative of this mythical goddess of the hunt. So, top tip for you there. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, please have a look at some other videos. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying consider it. Until the next time, troops, stay safe. Remember, let's tab.